If you've been feeling off ever since you had a COVID infection and it's been months or even up to a year, keep watching this video. Hi, my name is Megan. I'm a functional medicine practitioner and I help you simplify healing by getting to the root of the symptoms in your God-designed body. I teach you how to start tuning in and listening to the messages of your symptoms in your body. In this video, we're going to be discussing long-haul COVID symptoms. This is going to be the first video of a series that we are going to be launching. So if you are dealing with long-haul COVID symptoms, make sure that you stay tuned for our new series and subscribe to this video. If you've been feeling off since you have had COVID, please know that you're not losing your mind and there are a lot of reasons surrounding this. Today we're going to be talking about adrenal insufficiency. And if that sounds like a big word, just bear with me. We're going to be talking about what your adrenals are here in a moment. There has been new evidence to show that COVID can impact your adrenals and lead to adrenal insufficiency. Let's take a closer look at what that means. Your God-designed adrenal glands sit above your kidneys, and they are responsible for producing hormones that regulate your metabolism, your immune system, blood pressure, and they are involved in your response to stress. When they are working well, it's an incredible blessing, and your body is feeling good, and you're flowing, and you're able to respond to certain stressors and then go back to homeostasis. However, when they are overburdened, that leads to chronic symptoms. Chronic symptoms of adrenal insufficiency include chronic fatigue, brain fog, inability to focus, excessive urination, especially at night, waking up at night to pee, morning depression, thyroid issues, cravings for salt and spicy foods, frequent illness, and exercise intolerance. And I just want to mention a note on cravings. A lot of people are so hard on themselves when they crave certain foods, but your body is using those cravings as a message to communicate with you. For example, when I work with clients and we reverse their adrenal insufficiency, which we're going to keep talking about in a minute, they notice that their cravings go away. They no longer crave super salty foods or super spicy foods, and they're feeling good and they're not craving those things. And it's because those cravings are a message from your God-designed body. I have more on food cravings in another post, and I'll go ahead and link it in the comment section below if you want to go ahead and take a look at it. But remember, your body is always sending you a message. So back to adrenal insufficiency. In severe COVID, there is evidence that the virus can really impact your adrenal glands. In a chronically stressed out human body that is already struggling with being depleted of essential minerals and things like magnesium, if you haven't checked out my post on the fact that living in a chronic state of stress depletes your body of essential minerals like potassium and magnesium and sodium. When your body gets hit with a virus like COVID, it leads to chronic symptoms, and here's why. You have something called an HPA axis, and when your HPA axis is struggling and overburdened, it leads to chronic symptoms. And if you don't take measures to nourish it and help it get back into a state of homeostasis, it leads to chronic inflammation and chronic immune system dysregulation. Your body produces something called pro-inflammatory cytokines during prolonged stress, which can further compromise your immune system. This makes you more susceptible to getting sick and staying sick and dealing with long-haul symptoms. In addition, our HPA axis impacts our cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And again, cortisol is not inherently bad, right? We need cortisol to function. We need cortisol to wake up in the morning and help us get through the day. However, people who are living in a chronic state of stress will go years with chronic elevated cortisol levels, which eventually will plummet and lead to chronic fatigue in the morning. When cortisol levels are imbalanced, it starts to have an impact on other hormones in your body, like thyroid hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and it also starts to impact your blood sugar and can lead to blood sugar imbalances. And this leads to a whole host of other chronic diseases. So you can see why controlling your stress response is so important when it comes to dealing with long-haul COVID symptoms. Just in case you need a refresher or you're not really familiar with what an HPA axis is, I have posted on this before, but in case you're new here, your HPA axis looks like this, and it serves as your body's stress response system. It is a network of endocrine hormones and other signaling molecules. And chronic activation of this system through continuous emotional stressors, physical stressors, infection, that is a stressor on your body, it can lead to dysfunction in the system. A lot of people today label this as adrenal fatigue, and I would say that that is not the best name for it because it's really an entire system that is causing your adrenals to become overburdened. And there is a way to help support your adrenals to begin supporting the system and to avoid living with it chronically activated. When the system is struggling, it leads to an inability to effectively regulate the production of hormones. And then when you combine that chronically stressed out HPA axis and then you are infected with a virus like COVID, you can see how together it can really just cause so much harm on your body. And if you don't take time to nourish your HPA axis, it will result in you living with chronic symptoms like those we mentioned: chronic fatigue, excessive urination, especially at night, which leads to dehydration, which will lead to worsening anxiety and depression. It will lead to exercise intolerance, and it really is just this perfect storm for you to stay feeling exhausted all the time. So the problem today when it comes to conventional care, I used to work in conventional medicine for years, and I think that at times it can be life-saving, but right now there is a huge other pandemic of people dealing with chronic symptoms, and it's being missed. And here's why. There is a spectrum that conventional medicine looks at, and it's either you have a disease or you don't have a disease. And if you have the disease, you're given medication for it. And if you are on the brink of the disease, you are just told, we'll just watch this and come back and see me later, and then we will medicate you if it starts getting worse. The problem is there's this area where people are in the middle and they're dealing with chronic symptoms, but it's not severe enough to be diagnosed and given medication for. And that's the area that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about diagnosable diseases like Cushing's disease and Addison's disease. I am talking about the people in the middle dealing with adrenal insufficiency. So when you begin to view the body holistically and you start to really pay attention and tune into your symptoms, and you start to listen to what those symptoms are telling you, you will find that you're able to correct these imbalances early and intervene early and help the body reach homeostasis, and that results in symptoms being reversed, and I've seen symptoms even being resolved. But the first step is learning how to advocate for yourself and really coming to tune into your own body and know that when something feels off, it's not just in your head. There's probably something off going on at a cellular level that maybe textbooks aren't telling people how to diagnose you with and treat you with, but your body is always telling you something. And I hope that this video reminds you that you're not losing your mind if you felt off since you've had a COVID infection. There is a lot of evidence as to why, and there are so many puzzle pieces to investigate. If you are eager to learn more and you want to learn how to advocate for yourself at your doctor's appointments, and you want to learn about certain labs that you can request to intervene early, or you just want tangible tips to support your adrenal glands and your stress response and be equipped with evidence-based articles that support information like this, and you're interested in reading weekly mini deep dives that touch on topics like this one, there is a link in the comment section to join my new membership. At Refined Wellness, our passion is to partner with you to equip you with the knowledge you need to begin to steward your God-designed body. So I hope you found value in this information. Stay tuned for our next video on our series of long-haul COVID symptoms. See you next time. Bye.